very soon, I will be retiring peacefully to start working as a social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneurship is an approach by individuals, groups, startup companies, or entrepreneurs in which they develop, fund, and implement solutions to social, cultural, or environmental issues.
Your teacher Michael Aidera from Nairobi, Kenya.
Jina langu ni kISWATE, mwenza wa Bwana Michael Aidera. Nina furaha sana kujitolea kama mmoja wa walimu katika mradi huu wa Kiswahili.
My name is Ruben Chemitai. So let me share. I'll be sharing interchangeably the presentation slides and also the syllabus so that we are able to do that. So let me share this. Now, let me say that I don't want you to worry about the dates which have been indicated there. And I want to say that the application that is already up for piloting and rolling out, there are some skills that we will require. For example, the schools that we have adopted need to have a Gmail address for the school. So what we are going to learn here is that how to create what I would call customer-defined Gmail accounts, both for the school and for all the teachers and the support staff, so that when this application is rolled out, it will be able to, the teachers and the support staff will be able to log in. Logging in, as we saw last time, requires the Gmail account and the password. Then from there, we will move to the Google storage. All the files, we saw last time in one of the presentations that the app is a web-based, or let me say it is online. Meaning that any data which is generated from that particular system will also be online. It will be in the remote server, somewhere. And therefore, from where you are to the back end, we need to have skills on how you will be able to access those kinds of data, and maybe at some point be able to download to your local computer. Or stand-alone machine for that matter. Then again, given that data will be stored on the cloud, we have subscription for the online storage, and you may have it on Google, on Gmail, on Google Mail. Which I would call Google Storage, and you may also have it on OneDrive. And so subscription to this is very important. Data will be stored online, and as you keep on storing data, you will find that storage will be important. And sometime when you run out of storage, you need more storage, And you can be able to see from here that we have premium 2 terabytes, we have Google 2 terabytes, 5 terabytes, and so on. So you'll be increasing, and as you increase the premium storage, the amount that you pay monthly also increases. We'll also see how you can be able to pay for those storage online. Now, and because you will be dealing with so many records, you will be uploading some, you will be downloading some of them. You need to organize this in folders. So sometimes, for those of us who came before, most of us here, we used to call it directories. So organizing schools records by folders is very critical. And so creating folders will be very important for us. And also, when you will be transferring folders, when you will be renaming them, those are some of the things that we will need to know. I've talked about the storage of the school records on the cloud, and importantly here is how to upload them, how to access them, how to store them, using passwords so that no one can be able to access them. Again, importantly, we will talk about the Google Docs. I know very well that we've worked with Word documents, Microsoft Word. We have a version of the Word which is online, and that's why we talk about Google Docs. All these applications are available online, and specifically on Google platforms. Then we have the Google Sheets. We are basically talking about Excel, which is online. I think we will be able to see how you can be able to create those Google Sheets, save them, rename them, transfer them, and as we'll be able to learn, it requires network connection. Then we have the Google Slides. Remember again that most of our work will be online, and you'll be required to make slides which are online and they can be accessible online. Google Meet, I think in the course of our interaction with peers, we've learned how to create Google Meet, whether instant or for a later time. And then importantly, again, the Google Calendar. Then we'll have the Google Forms. And so we'll have the Google Forms. And importantly for Google Forms is how you can collect data using Google Forms, how you can be able to download them and reshare. And then again, if you want to carry out some surveys, you want to get some feedback, then you will see all that pertains to creating Google Forms and editing for that matter. Then we have the Google Drive. I've talked about that. Remember, online storage would either be on OneDrive or Google Drive. Google Drive is normally attached to your email. And then because of that, Gmail account is extremely important for us. So as I said, this will basically be training of digital skills. Of course, having in the back of our mind the application that we will be able to take to our schools. And so these skills are very important, and is going to prepare us for the implementation of the application. And so in terms of the objectives, we need to understand the cloud tools, both for us and also for the schools that will be using the application. And importantly is on record management. The digital skills will enhance the recording of the records that will be generated as a result of the register, and also as a result of the application or the learning management system. And then again, importantly, the security. You can imagine a situation where, as a school, you have built a lot of information, a lot of data, and then all of a sudden it gets lost. When it gets lost, you can be sure operations will be affected, and therefore we need to know those ones as well. Now let me move ahead to introduce these technologies. And as I said, from the syllabus, we will look at the cloud-based storage. And importantly, when do you access? What time? What are the restrictions? And we are all doing all this because of what? Supporting the app, the kISWATE digital register. And so we will have the Gmail, which I'll go through practically on how to create those Gmail accounts. We will have when we have Gmail accounts, depending on the policy of the school and the directions that will be given by the ministry, it may form part of the official communication platform. And then for safe custody, someone must be in charge, maybe a designated school administrator, so that when you are creating those accounts, you know, when we have problems of accessing those accounts, then you know, the administrator should be able to assist. And then, of course, the organization of the emails for the organization, and of course, the troubleshooting basics. Troubleshooting here means that whenever there's a problem with the accounts, how will you go solving them, those problems that occur, you know, when we have those problems. Sometimes, even in our own capacity, sometimes we have problems accessing our own emails, okay? On security, sometimes you have the emails attached to our phone numbers, okay, you know, and so forth. Then we will look at Google Drive, how we can be able to access them through the Gmail, and importantly, how we can be able to have the files in the folders, so that you can be able to organize either by class, you know, by department and year. Because I'm imagining a situation where you have the senior school or the senior school, the secondary school, and you will be storing records termly, you'll be storing records yearly, you'll be storing records per class, you know, streams that you have there, and so forth. So we'll be looking at that. And then, of course, the permission and sharing controls. And then we have the subscription to the cloud storage. I would strongly recommend that you expand as you move forward. As the school increases in building its data, you can as well progressively increase the storage space, so that it doesn't become expensive at the beginning. Of course, the issues of cost management, sustainability, monitoring the storage usage, that is something, again, we will look at. Then security, it will be very important. We will talk about this. So we have the security in the cloud, the permission to access regular backups, you know, and so forth. And then we will come to the Google Sheets. I think here we will look at each one of them, how you can be able to create documents in Word or Google Docs, for that matter, creating in Excel sheets, and then, of course, having those slides. I want to believe that for smooth running of the application, the implementation of the application, we will need to, you know, we need to have, you know, create some of these sheets online, and more so Excel. Of course, real-time editing. This one is about sharing documents online. Of course, it's possible that you can work on the same document in what we call collaboration. And then, of course, you know, controlling those documents. You look at Google Forms, as I've talked about that. And then we have the YouTube. Of course, the implementation strategy, I don't want to talk about this. You'll also be training the teachers, and we expect that you cascade this training at the end of this, or progressively as we move forward. Of course, we expect that when we do this, we will be able to implement the program without any hitches. And the collaboration will be able to be there between the teaching staff and the management. We can now go to the actual skills, and I'm going to start with creating folders and what we call subfolders. So I want to begin from from folders. Of course, this is the most basic. Once I take you through the creating folders, then I would expect I'll be giving out some assignment or some work to do at the end of the session. Now, the question that we ask ourselves is a folder. What is a folder? And I want to bring it from a practical perspective, and from the work that we usually do in school. What happens is that let me use a situation where you keep records for exam, and when you are keeping these records during assessment or during examination, at the first week of the term, or the second week, or the third week, depending on the school policy, we give out continuous assessment tests. That is Cat 1. And then again, when learning progresses, at some point you give Cat 2, continuous assessment test 2. And at the end of the term, you give what we call end term exam. This is what happens in our schools. And so, when we are storing these Cat marks, Cat 1, Cat 2, and end term examination, when we keep them on paper, in most cases we file them. The file is an example of a folder. So if you are a teacher who has been posted to a new station, you are still new, and you are building up, you will have those assessment records, assessment marks. For a teacher in grade senior school, maybe you have 2 teaching subjects. In some cases, you have 3 teaching subjects. So as you build on the records for those exams, or the scores for those exams, at some point you would want to have one file which is dedicated for one subject. For example, if you are teaching maths and physics, like myself, I would want to have all physics assessments in one file. And for mathematics, I have another file. So what happens is that I'll be able to separate. So you have a file for maths, you have a file for physics, and maybe you have another file for another subject. So it is paramount that you will be able to, I mean, what the new progress requires is that you separate those records. So apart from having Cat 1 for maths and physics in one folder or in one file, you can now use different files. So a folder is just like what? It's just like a space set aside for you to keep those records. Okay, and it might reach a point where you may have to separate again and have another folder for the cats, another folder for cat 1, cat 2, and then you have another folder for the end term examination. So it is very important that now that we are working digitally and we are not doing it manually, then it is good for us to know how we can be able to create folders and what we call subfolders, or directories and subdirectories. So as you create this, some of the subfolders will be inside the folders. And I want to demonstrate this. And now, let me open my documents. Of course, we have a folder here called My Documents. Okay. Let me see if I have a lot of files. Yes, I have a lot of files here. I have a lot of files. Don't worry about this. Now I want to create new folders. Remember, I want to store. I want to have a folder for all the cat ones. Okay. I want to have another folder for all the cat 2 and then end term. But then those examinations are for first term 1. So I'll create a folder called term 1. And then it is the year 2026. So it means what? In terms of the root folder, I'll first of all create assessments or exams for 2026. Because apparently moving forward, I'll have term 1, term 2, term 3 as per the school calendar. Then within term 1, I will have what? I will have cat 1, cat 2, and then what? And then the end term. And then within those, I have subjects. It can be cat 1 for physics or maths. Cat 2 for maths and physics. And end term for a different subject. So we are going to create folders and subfolders. So when we move to desktop or C drive is just the local storage that you have in your computer. Then you will be storing those files on your local computer. But then again, you can also create these folders online in Google Drive or in OneDrive. But in most cases, we will be storing files online, which requires that the school is equipped with internet connectivity. So how do we create that folder? Let me go to Documents, and let me maximize this. So that it becomes clear, let me take all these folders away from here. Let me just create a folder. Or let me even use this one to demonstrate. Now, I basically right-click. There are 2 ways of creating a folder, new folder. What I can do is I can right-click and click New. And when you click New on the menu, you'll have folder. So you can click Folder. And then now I type the name of that folder. So let me call it what? I want to have my files as a different folder on one folder. So what I will do is let me just use my other name. Let me say WIMP folders. Don't worry about that. I want to move away this folder so that you can be able to see folders. And then I can move all these files. Selecting files is what? Is Control-Shift-Home, I think. Home. I'm able to select everything, but I just want to select some few. So I'll just use what? From my keyboard, I can use, I can press Shift down, then I can basically move using the upward arrow. I select those. There are so many files I've created over time. And I just want to put them in one folder. So don't worry, I'm selecting them. I've pressed the Shift key on the keyboard, and then I'm using the upward arrow to select the files. These are just flat files. I'll explain that. I think I'm almost there. It's a bit slow, but okay. Oh, there are so many files indeed. Okay, so I just I just transfer these files. I'm just using cut and paste. And then let me paste. We have what we call combination keys, where you press down the control, then you add C or you add X for that matter. Yeah, I'm in my documents. So you can see here that I have so many folders. Of course, in the Windows system, we normally have a folder. You have seen this folder where you buy for the senior school students. A folder is that small plastic bag which you put some loose papers. And in the Windows system, the icon looks like that. That's why you can see here. The icon for a folder is this one. A folder is just the usual folder that you put papers. Even the university students put their papers on it. You know, that's a folder. So, creating a folder, we have two ways of doing that. The first one is to right-click the location where you want to create that folder. So, when you want to create that folder, you go to the location where you want to create that folder. You can be able to see here in the directory that I have documents. I've selected documents, which is a folder in C drive, so that I can create a folder. So I can create a folder by right-clicking. Then once you right-click, you go to New. You can see from the menu here, New, and then you will see New Folder. You click that. I don't know why this one is okay. You click that. Another way of creating folder, you go to File. On the menu, you see the menu. It's called the text menu. You click on that, and then you come down. Now, the first method I was trying to talk about is, first of all, you go to the location where you want to create that folder. And in this case, I'm in what? I'm in my documents on my C drive. So once I do that, because I want to create a folder in that location, I'll basically right-click here. I'm right-clicking on the open space because I don't want to create that folder inside another folder. So you can see from the menu here that I have New, and then I click Folder. So immediately I click New Folder. You can see there that we have automatically we have New Folder, which I'll need to rename. Yeah, so we said we call it what? We call it examination results. And then we have 2026. And then, of course, to finish the process, you can press Enter or return key from your keyboard. Now, so already we have created a folder called examination results. I don't know if I can enlarge this so that you can be able to see. So among these folders, I've created one called examination folder. Now, it is possible that I can create other folders, but inside that particular main folder. So what I will basically do, I'll open that folder by double-clicking. And then once I open, you can see we don't have folder here. We don't have any other subfolder. And it's saying what? It's saying that this folder is empty. So we need to create another folder inside here. And because I am a teacher of teaching 2 subjects or 3, I would want to capture those folders for different subjects. So what I will basically do is I'll do the same thing. You right-click, then you go to New Folder. You right-click, New Folder, then you come to Folder. Now, alternatively, you can click File, I don't know why this one is not showing. Okay. Under folder here, I can see here from the from this window. From this window here, I have what? I have this what we call the toolbars. Toolbars. I hope we know what toolbars are. Toolbars are basically they are basically commands, and these commands you'll be able to create. And you can see here new folder. So apart from right-clicking and saying new folder, you can as well come to here this toolbar and you click new folder. Now the moment I click new folder, you will see the automatic name new folder, and I can rename this one. And because I'm a math teacher, or let me use what? Let me use my subjects. Fine, you will allow me to use that. I can say maths. Okay, and then I press enter. This is where I'll be storing all examination results for maths. Now you can repeat it again, and you can click again new folder, and then I have physics. Press enter. So now already I will have created 2 subfolders within a folder called examination results 2026. Okay. Now how you arrange these folders will depend on how easily you can access them. Someone might decide to create folders as per subjects first before you create now the Cat 1 and Cat 2, or Term 1 and Term 2 and Term 3. Now somebody else may decide to create cat folder, and then inside that cat folder you will have for the different subjects. That's what we call hierarchy of what? Of the directories or of the folders. So you can adopt as a policy in your school that this is how we want to create the subdirectories or the subfolders. So, but in this case, I've gone straight to the subjects. Now, then within maths, within this maths subfolder, I can create now the different exams. Okay, I can say what? I can say new folder again, and then within maths, I can say term 1 of 2026. Okay, I've just added 2026 just in case, but I know it is term 1. Or let me just use term 1. Let me just say it up term 1. Term 1, basically like that. Okay. Now in term 1, I will have the different assessments. So within that term 1, I will have what? I will have another new folder, and in that new folder, I can say Cat 1. Cat 1. Then I create another folder, Cat 2. Okay. It's becoming slow here. New folder, Cat 2. Now I can just have Cat 2, yes, like that. Okay. And then I can have end term. I'm hoping that this is what is happening with the current CPC, because I might seem to be using the old one, the old method. I mean the old system, and then I have end of term. So we have one folder, one main folder, which is examination results. That is correct, as per Catherine and Mary. Now, the subfolder that we created at the first hierarchy is maths and physics. Those are 2. And then within maths, I created term 1. which is another subfolder, or you can call it subfolder. That is 3. Then within the term 1, I created cat1, cat2, and end of term. So in total, I have 6 folders. 1 is a main folder, and 5 are subfolders, of course, at different stages. Once I create this folder, I can now get to the actual files, the flat files that we will create using Excel or Word for that matter. So in cat1, when I click cat1, remember this cat1 now will belong to maths. Okay, cat1 will belong to maths. So I can store the files here. We will create the files inside this folder. Any cat1 max, whether you capture it using Google Docs, whether you capture it using Microsoft Word, which is on a computer, or whether you capture it using even a simple application like Notepad, or you capture using Excel, all of them will be here. And you'll be able to see later, you can even you can capture your scores on a paper. You digitize by scanning to PDF. You can scan to PDF, and then you can also store it here. So those ones are the flat files that we are talking about. Okay. So let me assume that you have captured your marks or scores in Excel. I think we will have Excel at some point. Or let me use the most simple one, which is Word. Although the appropriate one here would be Excel. And the reason for that is that Excel is you can be able to compute the averages once you capture the other marks. So I'm trying to open Word. Let me just use Word as a basic application. Okay, fine. So I've opened. Have I opened the Excel now here? Just okay, it's opening Microsoft Word. But I would recommend to teachers that you need to capture your because you will be dealing with scores, which are numbers. It is better that you capture them in Excel because you will not be doing double work when it comes to the moment you key in the end term results, you will be able to compute in Excel. I know it's also possible for Word, but it's a bit the capabilities of Word is not. So I'm creating a folder. A file here. I want to capture my marks. So the best to do this is to create using a table. And I have Word here, which I want to create a table to capture my scores. Yeah, so here is Word. So I can create a table here. I can have a header. Let me have a header and say maths, mathematics. Oh, it's coming a bit slow, but I'm hoping mathematics. Let me call it what? Let me call it 3 North mathematics, and I can say cat1 results. Cat1 results. Maybe I can bold this one here. Bolding is basically control, and then I can center. And then now from here, I can create a table. So it is basically insert from the text menu. You click insert, then you can see here we have a table icon or toolbar. Then I can just I'll basically need to capture the serial number, the name of the student, the admission, serial number, name of the student, admission, and then the score. So those are 4 columns. So I can just have it like this. Are those 4 columns? Yes. Or I can say basically insert rows. And the number of columns I've said is 4. And then maybe the number of rows will depend on the number of the students in that class. Can I say what? 30? Let's say 30. Then okay. So this way I'm going to capture my results. So here I'll have serial number. I think we all know that. I don't want to belabor that point. I have the name of the student. Then I have the admission number or registration number. Then I have the score. So we are going to see that. This should be a small column. I can just populate this by, I can populate by inserting what? Numbers. So this is home. I can just insert numbers here automatically, like that. Let me use an example here. We have Mary is one of the students for the Ambo. And then admission number is what now? 2710, something like that. You know, and the score is what? Maybe cut is normally out of 30 or out of 15, whichever. Let me say 14, like that. Now I need to save this. So remember, it is from 3 North, cut 1. So use save as, and then I trace that particular folder by browsing. So I browse to examination results folder, but maths, term 1, and then cut 1. So I can just save here form 3 North Mathematics cut 1. Cut 1. Naming convention in computer is very important so that you are able to trace. So I've created that, I've saved that file, and I just want to close it. So you can see here that within this cut 1, which is in term 1, which is in a folder called maths, I already have that file. So the folder is not empty. We have that file there. So what I wanted to demonstrate here is that we have already created a folder which you can easily trace. You can easily trace through the directory root from there, and you can be able to access this one. Now it might reach a situation where you also want to create another folder. You know, maybe you have again from 3 North Maths cut, and you are teaching. Maybe you are teaching maths grade 3, grade 10, and you are also teaching grade what? Grade what? Grade 9. So definitely you would want to create some subfolders for what? For those particular classes, because I know teachers cut across. You may be teaching lower levels and also higher levels, and you would also want to create. So that's why I was saying that it depends. It is very important for a school to agree as policy how you are going to create the folders, so that even when a teacher is not there, the assistant teacher or the head of the department can be able to trace those particular files. So it's about traceability. And in fact, the assignment that I want to give is that looking at your school environment, develop a hierarchy of folders that will enable you to store the different files that you create. I'll be able to share that through the charts shortly. But I want us to, in where you work, and the subjects that you teach, I want you to picture how you will be saving these files or these records and then create folders to that effect. And I'll be able to look at each for every one of us. And by looking at it, I'll be able to understand your school environment, where you come from.
The kISWATE Digital Academy, founded by Pius Odhiambo, is a groundbreaking digital platform aimed at fostering the African Renaissance in the education sector. Specifically tailored for Kenya, the Academy addresses critical challenges in the implementation of the competency-based curriculum CBC for grades 7 through 12 in both junior and secondary schools. Key issues it seeks to resolve include: 1. Access to educational materials. Many students lack textbooks in certain thematic areas, and where available, these resources are often prohibitively expensive. School calendar disruptions. Unforeseen events such as illnesses, pandemics, for example the COVID-19, school strikes, and natural disasters like floods frequently disrupt the academic calendar. 3. Data-driven decision-making. There is a notable absence of reliable online attendance and learning data, which is crucial for informed decision-making in curriculum implementation. Pius Odhiambo, the visionary behind kISWATE, is a trained science teacher and an award-winning data scientist, a philanthropist based in the Washington, D.C., United States of America. His contributions have earned him a place on the Marquis Who Is Who in America, highlighting his international recognition and impact. The kISWATE Digital Academy is structured around 3 course components. Digital library. This will provide students and teachers with access to a vast array of digital textbooks and educational resources online, ensuring that learning materials are both accessible and affordable. 2. Learning management system LMS. This system will enable teachers to conduct remote lessons and allows school principals to recruit emergency or substitute teachers from a distance. It will also facilitate continuous learning for students regardless of physical location. 3. Scholarship system. This component will offer financial support to deserving students, ensuring that economic barriers do not hinder access to quality education. By leveraging these components, kISWATE Digital Academy aims to create a resilient and flexible educational environment. Students will have uninterrupted access to digital textbooks and teachers, while educators will be equipped with the tools needed for effective and remote teaching. This initiative not only addresses immediate educational challenges but also lays the foundation for a more robust and adaptable education system in Kenya, capable of withstanding future disruptions and fostering long-term academic success.